analyst desk without that prediction game, so I'm going to be putting these guys on the spot, and I want to know legitimately who you think will be winning this matchup. Let's run this one down the line. Crepo, who's going away with the W?
Yeah, pretty much what I said already. Like, White's going to win this. I think lane for lane, as I said before, they're going to outclass their opponents. And then even in terms of just macro level strategy, their vision control will be better. Edward Gaming's had decent vision control, but I mean, White is just, it's White. They're going to win this.
Crumbs?
I think White is going to win it as well. When it comes to the methodical Korean playstyle compared to a little bit more chaotic, even though EDG is not that chaotic to the chaotic Chinese style, I pick the brain over the brawn.
Yeah.
Or the brawn.
Yes.
Monte Cristo.
How do I follow that up? No, I got to go with Samsung White as well. I do think EDG is a very strong team, and because if both teams make it out, they'll be placed on opposite sides of the bracket. We're looking at a possible preview of the World Finals here as well, potentially.
Well, we'll find out. Freak, final thoughts.
So I definitely think Samsung White is going to win this game. I agree with kind of all the comments here where they seem to be a little bit better everywhere, but sometimes the X factor comes in, and Edward could make that play. But yes, down the line, I think Samsung White is better strategically and a little bit better in every single role. Well,
you guys at home have heard what our analysts are picking. Let's see who you chose to come away with a victory in this first game. Over on LOLesports.com, 80% of you say that Samsung White will take the first win. It's heavy favorites for sure. Now, despite the fact Edward Gaming is heading into Worlds as the #1 team from China, they are their own biggest critics as they prepare for the competition.
到了 EDG 也没算进步吧，随着版本变化，然后自己打法也有一些不同。
这个赛季表现呢，整体来说一般嘛。
最近的一段时间自己打的都很差，这就是最近跟皇族的那一盘吧。我想占一个很容易杀到 UZI 的位置，就被对面的 Zero 勾到了，垂直勾到了，被他盲勾，然后直接秒了那波团战输了，然后就导致整盘都输掉了。
我觉得转折点有2个吧，第一个是 IET 上，就是第一个杯赛上嘛，然后打赢了 OMG， 还有一个就是打 WE 了。其实在打完 WE 之后的状态一直都不是特别好，也算是一个下降的一个转折吧。
每输掉比赛，大家都会回去看视频，然后总结，大家会去积极的去沟通。
其实我们队伍现在关键问题还是要交流吧，关键不停地打训练赛，然后通过训练赛来练习一下自己队友和队友之间的默契。
训练的话，因为韩服之前的版本比国服快嘛，现在国服也跟上了嘛，然后就会先去研究一些视频和 BP 的顺序和选择，然后再根据队伍队员的打法和性格、队伍的风格，然后筛选一些英雄和一些打法的元素，然后放在训练赛中。
我们 队伍和韩国队伍也训练的挺多的，至少大家打韩国队是心理上是没什么压力的。
今年韩国出现的3个队伍还都是非常强的吧 ？S4 真正拉开战幕的时候，如何能够在各个队伍集结在一起的时候，找到合适的训练对手，然后同时锻炼队伍、提升队伍，然后又能达到战术上的保密，也是非常重要的。
感觉说起来，要如果碰到3星，也不是没有赢的机会，感觉也能赢。
挺想和那个 韩国的 Save 打一打。
我们当然希望就是说队伍能够有一个比较好的一个成绩嘛。
我们在自站在 S4 的舞台上，我们的目标就是冠军。
It's great hearing a team talk about their own practice mentality and focus, and this is a squad in particular that came out quite openly and said, we're going to focus on some of the other teams in our group a little bit less than Samsung White because they want to make playoffs.
Right. I actually think this is actually very smart from Edward Gaming, knowing their sort of group structure where they've got 2 very big favorites. They're happy taking just top 2, making sure they can beat AHQ and Dark Passage, which you don't want to overlook, and then looking at the Group B teams, making sure you're okay for the quarterfinals as well. I think it's a very smart choice. So while they won't look necessarily incredible against White because they're not trying to beat them necessarily, they're going to go far in this tournament.
Well, right. I mean, that's who you don't. If they have any strategies prepared for Samsung White, because of their opposite sides of the bracket when they exit the group, they can save any kind of secrets that they have for later on down the road if they're very confident in beating up on the kind of bottom 2 teams in this group.
Do you think perhaps that White might try to do the same thing, and then they'd be thinking, well, we can just make it out of the top 2, not show our full strength, and then perhaps try to go for that second seed and get an easier time?
That means we're going to see a Blitzcrank.
Well, Crumbs, how difficult is it really to hold back? I mean, we always talk about these pocket picks, these, weird and wonderful strategies, but from a playstyle perspective, can you really control on the world stage and, not give it your all?
I think maybe once you're at that incredible high level of skill, you're able to do it. But honestly, when these guys are up there, they're not really thinking. They're just playing instinctively, right? They already know exactly what to do. So holding back on something that's pretty much hardwired into how you work is pretty difficult.
But I mean, there's a good consensus of what the metagame is right now. They can just play standard metagame and just duke it out against each other and see where their flaws are. That doesn't mean they don't have to reveal any new strategies, any new picks, because there's plenty of champions that are just overly played everywhere. And I think that's what we're going to see the first game.
Well, we are about to find out. Thank you very much, guys. We're going to hand things over to the casters to take us into the game, which